Hey guys, alright, David Franco here from DavidFranco.com with another controversial video. I say controversial because for whatever reason, people can't accept when I'm honest and transparent about my opinions in regards to, well, products I'm not a huge fan of. First of all, before I jump into this video, let me just say, this video is going to be just like the Kindle Fire video, my 5 reasons for selling that. I got so much hate for that. I'm not sure why. I was completely honest. I was transparent. I was unbiased. I gave it a fair chance. The tablet sucked. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just being honest. The Kindle Fire barely had anything going for it. I mean, except for the form factor. The 7-inch form factor was awesome, but besides that, it was a pretty bad user experience. So, with that said, the Nexus 7, unfortunately, despite what I said a month or two ago, I have decided to sell it. Yes, I know I said I wasn't going to, but that was before I found out for the past 2 or 3 weeks, this thing has been sitting on my coffee table, dead. The battery died. It's just, I found myself not using it. So, with that said, let's just get into my 5 reasons of why I decided to sell the Nexus 7. Reason number 1, the apps, they simply just don't feel native. Unlike the iPad, there are so many different Android tablets out there. Now, for some people, that may be a good thing, but for me, who cares about quality, and I'm kind of OCD when it comes to things being just right, this thing's just not doing it for me. For instance, Instagram, it just feels like a large version of the iPhone app. Facebook, let me let it launch real quick, because again, my Nexus died. I apologize for the noise in the background. People are doing yard work. Here's the Facebook app. Now, it doesn't look horrible, but again, it just feels scaled up. It doesn't feel like it was natively designed with a 7-inch form factor in mind. Now, maybe I could be wrong, or maybe I'm just very picky, and yes, I'm very proud to be picky. I spend my money on gadgets. I expect an awesome experience overall. Now, the apps aren't horrible. Yes, I know, it's a horrible email sound, by the way. The apps aren't terrible for Android. It's just unlike the iPad, they just don't feel natively designed with a specific screen size in mind. Reason number 2, that is the build quality. Well, it's okay. Now, I will say this thing feels better than the Kindle Fire. It doesn't heat up as much. It just feels better in the hands, and it even fits better in the hands. As far as I can tell, it's definitely thinner. It has rounded edges, so it just fits well in the palm of your hand. And I love the 7-inch form factor. Please, don't take this the wrong way. I mean, I don't hate Android or the Nexus 7. I love the form factor. That's the only thing I really enjoyed about this. But with that aside, let's get back on track. It's just the build quality is okay. Now, I will say the build quality is not bad or it's not excellent. It's kind of in between. Now, maybe I got one of the faulty Nexus 7s when they first started shipping, as I did get one of the first shipments, which I'm very grateful for. I loved getting this thing on day one. It's kind of like an early Christmas. But with mine, every now and then when you push in, you can feel the bezel moving. Now, in my experience, you wouldn't see that happen with an iPad or an iPhone. It's just, Apple very much cares about their quality, and I'm sure Asus does too. I mean, I'm not dissing Asus. I have an Asus display, and I love it. But my point is, this just doesn't feel on par with the iPad and iPhone in terms of build quality. Maybe that's because this thing only costs $200. I do realize that. Trust me, I'm not an idiot. But I just wanted to say, the build quality, it just could be better. Alright, so speaking of better, number 3, performance could be better. Performance is okay. For instance, when I'm pinching and zooming in Chrome, it lags to the point where I'm like, why is this lagging? I'm used to a much better experience on my iPhone, which just costs $200. Even on the iPod Touch, which costs $199. Well, the new one costs $299, but you can still get the old one for $199. It zooms smoother. For instance, let me go to... I do like all the different keyboards, by the way. That is something I like about this over iOS, all the customization. Now, do you see what I'm doing here? Do you see that delay in the input? Now, I will say it's not that bad, but it's certainly not on par with the iPad. Do you see how it skipped there? It actually had like a half a second delay zooming in. Again, it's not that terrible, but for me, guys, I cannot stress this enough. I am so picky when it comes to a user experience. If something lags, I'll notice it. Trust me, even my Xbox 360, I love my Xbox 360, but they really have to refine the dashboard experience. It lags when you're pressing the RB and the LB buttons, especially when a game's running in the background. I realize it's processing all the graphics and whatever in the background, and that's why the menu lags during gameplay. Trust me, I fully realize that. But that's just one of the things I wish Microsoft would improve upon. I'm just saying that because I'm not purely against Android. It's just anything in general. I mean, if the iPad lags now and then, which it might here and there, I'll be honest. I'm always honest when it comes to user experience and expecting, well, what I expect. Again, if I pay a certain a certain amount, for a product, I expect a certain experience in return. So yes, maybe that goes against my step number 3 in that I only paid $200 for this, so I shouldn't expect a $500 experience, but still, my point still stands. The performance, it could be a little better. Reason number 4, and this is probably the biggest of the list, and that is the apps, they feel like they've been done before. I have yet to find anything entirely unique to Android, besides the widgets and the customized keywords, which I really enjoy. But in terms of actual apps, I've seen everything before. Instagram, on the iPhone. Facebook, on the iPhone, and better at that. Netflix, on the iPhone. Email, it's like, even email is better on the iPad. It's just, again, I'm very picky when it comes to my experience, and when I see the same apps over and over again, then I'm like, well, why do I have this thing in the first place if my iPad does a better job? Yes, I realize my iPad is much larger, and that is something I actually prefer this over the iPad is the form factor. Again, I have to stress that like 5 times already. It's just, I love the 7-inch form factor, and I really hope we see an iPad mini someday. But until then, my iPad is going to have to do with the 9.7-inch form factor because it offers a better experience. It offers better apps, and it offers apps I've been using for the past few years or so. You can't argue the fact that iPad, at least in my experience, has all the apps you need. And when saying that, they probably perform even better than Android tablets do. And now, for reason number 5, the last one of them all, I simply don't need it. I don't. I was looking at my Nexus 7 the other day, just sitting at my coffee table, again. I was watching Netflix, and I was looking at it. I was like, why do I have this thing? Sure, it's cool, but Android, to me, as cool as the customization is and all the keyboards you can do and the different widgets, trust me, I love them, it just got old. At the end of the day, my iPad does pretty much everything I want it to do. My iPhone does everything I want it to do. My Mac does everything that I want it to do. What am I trying to say here is, I love the Apple ecosystem. Everything just works. Everything's integrated very well with one another, with iCloud and everything. Yes, I do realize the Nexus 7 has excellent Google integration with Gmail and everything, and that's something I really appreciate. But again, at the end of the day, I just prefer the iPad experience. I prefer the iPhone experience. I prefer the Mac experience. I prefer the i experience. Let's just call it the i experience. Because, I'm not going to lie, I love Apple. I'm slightly biased towards them because I enjoy a good product. Is it so wrong to admit that I enjoy a good product? And again, Chris Perlow even said this in last night's stream when he was pre-ordering the iPhone 5. Once you use the iPhone or the iPad, it's really, really difficult to change your mind once you get used to that smooth, overall, integrated experience. Because again, with Android, while they're getting better, it doesn't have that snappy feel to it. It doesn't have that integrated personal feel to it. Now again, all this comes down to personal feelings and personal experience. I obviously have a personal bias towards Apple, and I'm very proud to admit that. I have no shame in saying that I'm biased for Apple, but hey, I'm proud in saying that. You might disagree with me. I might get 10,000 dislikes on this video. That's fine. The point of YouTube is expressing your opinion and standing by it, and I fully do that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Overall, I gotta say, I really did enjoy Android. Nexus 7, it did overall improve my experience and my opinions of Android. I don't really dislike it as much as I used to. It's just Android is not quite there in the overall user experience. So, what do you guys think? Am I wrong? Am I right? Well, I really can't be either because it's my opinion, but either way, let's get a discussion going. Post your comments below about what you think of Android versus iPhone. I realize, or Android versus iOS, that's a more fair comparison. I realize this could blow up into some huge war, but I'm not gonna lie, I love a good debate. I like seeing people go at it in the comments. It's always good to get involved and speak your opinion. Also, don't forget, never, ever be afraid to express your opinion. Never be afraid of offending anyone. Never be afraid of being right or wrong. It's just, that's what makes it fun. We all have different opinions, and at the end of the day, I respect your opinions, and I expect you to respect my opinions. Let's just leave it at that. Thank you guys again so much for watching, for your support, your likes, your comments, all that good stuff. Have an awesome weekend, and I will most likely see you in Monday's video.